Hey guys, it's SterlingW, and this is the HDP 50. I'm going to go ahead and unbox it. It's made by UMAREX, and it's meant for home defense. So basically it launches powder balls as well as rubber balls. I'm currently in California, so I could only have powder balls and rubber balls instead of the pepper balls. Of course, check your state and local laws of what age you could buy this at, as well as if you could actually buy this version or the pepper version. Wow, this is pretty great packaging. Let's go ahead and open this guy up and see what's inside. So let's pull this thing out. Looks like there's nothing else in the box, so let's go ahead and put that to the side. And let's open this plastic. So it's stapled together with staples on top and bottom. So pretty well packaged, that's for sure. And it's pretty hefty too. So yeah, taking this thing out, nice orange and black. You can't miss seeing this because there's a big orange thing on it. There is some fiberglow sights on this thing, which is nice. So when light hits it, you actually see little green dots. That's neat. There is a there's nothing that moves here, so it's all one kind of like one single piece. It really doesn't move. There you can see the slide for where you could put balls into the internal magazine. Let's see what else it comes with in this package. It has a 6mm Allen wrench and this cleaner thing. It's a squeegee. And here are, I guess, the powder balls. And a decal. Comes with a decal as well. Anyways, looks like 10 balls that are in these little tubes. So there's a powder rounds as well as some rubber ball rounds. So that's pretty cool. We'll go ahead and open those a little later and test those things out. Probably in another video or so, but we'll definitely go and load this into the thing. So we'll go over how loading goes. But let's see what else there is. Let's clear off the desk of this stuff. We don't really need this on the desk. So let's see what's in the bag. So let's open this guy up and see. I think that's the squeegee, and there's more advertisement stuff. And there is the 6mm that goes for that CO2 can thing. So okay. A lot more advertising. There's the instruction manual. Here's that squeegee. Looks like you just push all the way to the front, and so you can squeegee out anything. I guess this is meant for the powder. That if you shoot powder rounds and it breaks inside, the pistol, you might want to clean it. That's probably an easy way to clean it. Here's the instruction manual. If you want to pause the video and take a look at it, it looks pretty straightforward. Looks like you could add some oil to the CO2 cartridge so that it lubricates it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Good for maintenance. The sights, that's pretty standard issue. And here's the cleaning procedures for squeegeeing a pistol for the powder ball rounds. So I guess you just stick it in. Oh, look, warranty, 30 days. I think I better test this thing pretty quick. Make sure everything works. Looking at the stats, it looks like it's 375 feet per second for rubber balls. And also, basically, it's fixed sights, and it's about 1.5 pounds. But yeah, if you want to pause the video, go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and feel it. This looks pretty cool. I see that there's the bottom part for the CO2. It looks like you can just twist it open or stick the 6mm Allen wrench in to open it if it's too tight, or if you need to tighten it. There's a Picatinny rail on the bottom, so you can add a flashlight and stuff. And there's nothing else here on the top. It is pretty hefty, and it's very, very solid. The trigger safety is this little switch in the center of that trigger, which basically you have to push the center before you could totally engage the trigger. To be honest, I prefer something that's like a switch because, anyone could just pull the trigger anyways. So, okay, moving forward, basically the 6mm Allen wrench is to open up the CO2 door. So counterclockwise opens it. And there you have it. It has a very interesting device. So basically you put the CO2 canister reversed so that the pin actually touches the this cap. So what happens is that when you actually need this, you don't waste your CO2 by having it always on or having to turn it. You basically just push this against a hard surface like a table or something, and it'll puncture the CO2 cartridge. So you could use it immediately, whether it's, sometime in the future. So instead of wasting CO2 or having to screw on a CO2 every time, that movement of the pin actually just, engages it later. So anyways, I'm gonna take that out and we'll go ahead and, test out some other stuff and see other things on this thing. So now that I locked it in place in the front, we could probably try loading stuff. There is no CO2 in this. I took out the CO2. In fact, I didn't even load CO2 in it. The loading hole is on the bottom. You could put pepper rounds as well as rubber ball rounds. I would not put paintball rounds in this because I don't think I would want to. If something got caught in there, it's pretty hard to take out. That's my guess. So these rubber balls, you could actually get it, you could use the ones that came with it. It came with 10. Also the powder rounds too. They're basically plastic little balls just like this. So loading it, you just basically put it on the bottom and load 6 in there, and it, one actually goes into the breech, which is pretty interesting because I really can't get that one out other than probably sticking that that cleaning tool in there, which we'll go ahead and do a little later. But it's kind of interesting because once one gets loaded, it's in there, and you could load another 5 in there too. So again, you can see there's no CO2 in this thing, so that's why I'm pressing the trigger. It lets you see the movement of those balls when I pull the trigger. Here is that squeegee tool. So if, let's say, you're shooting powder ball rounds and it gets, it breaks in there, or maybe there's some powder in there still, you're supposed to put the squeegee in and slowly pull it out so you could take out anything that's inside and clean that, clean the barrel. So I'll probably go over that a little later. But if you want to take out the balls, you basically rock it back and forth with that magazine spring pulled back, and that way you can basically roll out any other balls you have that's in there. So definitely don't put paintballs in here because I don't think it's meant for it. It's only meant for CO2, meant for powder as well as rubber balls. Again, I don't have any CO2 in here, so I'm just testing it. Overall, it feels pretty great. There is also a TR50 model of this, and it's actually a revolver, which is pretty neat. As you can see, there's screws on the TR50, and there's also a Picatinny rail on top as well as on the bottom, versus the HDP 50. It's a bunch of pins that hold this thing together. So definitely don't want you to actually mess with opening this thing up, which is pretty, yeah, I guess that's why would you want to open this thing up, right? But the TR50 has lots of screws everywhere, so I guess it's meant for modding and stuff later, or for repair. But for this one, if you go repair it, you might have to send it back to the factory because it's all pins. So what I really like about the HDP 50 over the TR50 is the feel of this. Not only that it has a rail in the bottom, but the tang in the back actually feels really comfortable to to hold. So anyway, I'm SterlingW. I hope you found this useful and it was helpful to you. And thanks for watching.